what appeared to be a looming threat from the U.S. to classify Nigeria as a country of particular concern and announce perhaps a range of sanctions or specific threats to deal with allegations that the country is involved in the genocide against its Christian population. Within this week, between the last time I made that comment to now, we're now dealing with a major issue that has both a national and an international dimension. And it's very worrying. It is not the kind of issue that we should take lightly. And I make these comments with all sense of responsibility because it is important for Nigerians to recognize the fact that in addition to all the problems that we face, we now face the possibility that a foreign country is likely to consider us as a country that is available to be sanctioned or occupied or attacked or punished for our leadership's failure to deal with our problems of insecurity. But first, let's deal with the issue of our own reaction to these threats from the U.S. It is absolutely vital that Nigeria should recognize the fact that it is possible that we're being set up against each other. The U.S., which is triggering this hysteria against Nigeria and threats, knows very well that there isn't genocide against Christians in this country. Muslims and Christians have been killed without regard to what faith they have. Genocide is what Israel was doing in Gaza and in Palestinian lands that the U.S. knows. It knows it in real terms. It knows it in legal terms. The world has condemned what Israel has been doing, and the world has been saying that Israel has been involved in genocide. This is genocide. We agree and we accept the fact that Nigeria has been insecure for Muslims and Christians in the last 10, 15 years. We have raised our voices against the systemic failure of the state to protect Christians and Muslims. We have suffered from killers, all types of killers, in the northwest, in the northeast, in the southeast, in the south-south. And it appears that our leadership has now opened the gates for opportunistic interventions like those coming from the U.S. to, for their own reasons, try and escalate the crisis, the beginning of which we're beginning to see quarrels between Muslims and Christians regarding the threats that are coming from the U.S. So let's start from the beginning. Our leadership, going back to perhaps the last 10, 15 years, is responsible for tolerating an intolerable situation where Nigerians live and die in the hands of criminals. That is the simple truth. There's a house of proverb that says the lizard finds space between the wall only because the wall cracks. That is the truth. We may be angry with America today. We may be indignant that another country is saying, we'll come and fix your problems for you. But the truth about it is that we have been failed by our leadership. And that's the first port of call. Christians and Muslims have died in the hands of criminals because we've had leaders, successive leadership, that have not been able to raise the standards of responsibility and commitment to protect Nigerians that they swore to protect. That is the first issue. The second issue is the opportunism that is very dangerous. There are Nigerians who think that playing the victim card may get sympathy from the U.S. And therefore the U.S. may actually intervene or impose sanctions on Nigerians to punish people who are killing Muslims and Christians. Now, that is again a very dangerous game to play because unfortunately, or fortunately, this country of 240 million Nigerians, Muslims and Christians, cannot just be hurt because you are chasing Muslims or Christians. We know there are people who are killing Christians and Muslims. We know that there are places where we fight as Muslims and Christians. We know where there are places where we fight as herders and farmers. We know that this country has been substantially insecure. There are huge parts of the country where Muslims kill Muslims, shouting Allahu Akbar, killing people in mosques. We know there is a huge part of the country in the southeast where for the last almost 1 decade. Christians have been killing Christians. We know there are many, many parts of the country where you cannot leave your village, or we've abandoned villages simply because criminals have made it impossible. And yet we have a country, we have a government, we have a democracy, we have a military, we have a security, and we have systems that should fight this thing. It's just simply unacceptable that Nigerians will continue to tolerate and live under these levels of insecurity. It's such a point where we now invite opportunistic countries, leaders like Trump, who would say, I'm coming to fix your country. Now, let's ask President Trump. First, we know that there is no way in the world that for the last 10 years, your intelligence sources, your mission here in Nigeria would not have been telling you that there's no such thing as genocide in this country. It just simply defies understanding. So we know that President Trump is not acting on credible intelligence, because there are too many people will be telling him there is no such thing as genocide. So we have to ask ourselves, what does he want? So that we can prepare our responses consistent with their objectives and goals. If the objective is to weaken Nigeria more, there are two things we need to pay attention to. One is, let's be prepared. American intervention in Nigeria in any form or guise is going to hurt Christians and Muslims. There is no way any sanction, any punishment, any military action in this country is going to single out Christians or Muslims and punish us. Two, if the U.S. has ulterior motives, hiding behind the weaknesses of the Nigerian leadership, hiding behind the weakness of our military, we need to prepare and look again. What is wrong with the way we've been fighting these people? And then fix it. We obviously have been failing to protect citizens. We admit that. But friendly countries, or ordinarily friendly countries like the U.S., should be working with us rather than threatening to punish us for being weak. If the U.S. genuinely is concerned about what appears to be the killing of either a particular faith or people of particular faith or everybody, the U.S. should help us. Help us to fix the weaknesses in our systems. Help us to improve our security and intelligence. You have the resources to do that. Help us to build systems that will punish our leaders who bring the money that is stolen from this country to your country in the U.S.